Hello, I'm Jenny Lenz, the most published early first-generation West Coast punk photographer. I started with the Ramones. This is a poster Shepard Fairey created from my Dee Dee Ramones photos taken at the Roxy on August 12th, 1976, the first night I ever took any rock and roll photos, but the second night they performed. I was there the first night, but I grabbed my camera the second night. And then the last photos were around June 1980. I went to England to photograph The Clash, and I took a few other photos after that, but I really started with Ramones, ended with The Clash. And in between, I shot a lot of early X. This is from the filming of Decline of Western Civilization. If you see the footage, I can see myself. In fact, here I am during Nausea. So that was March 1980. And earlier, there was The Bags. That's Alice Bag at the Mask Benefit, February 24th or 25th, I think the 24th, 1978, and the Go-Go's, January 80. I shot a lot of the Go-Go's. I knew them before they were a band. My photos have been used in books and documentaries on the Go-Go's. Here's Belinda's Legs, and here I am with Joe Strummer backstage. This was taken at the Santa Monica Civic, March 3rd, 1980. We've got Iggy Pop. This photo was taken April 15th, 1977 at Santa Monica Civic Auditorium. The first Germs photo session, June of 77, Devo, 77, 78, and yes, even the Rolling Stones. I went to Houston in July 1978. And Chris Spedding, when he played with Brian Ferry up in San Francisco, that was in 77 as well. We also have Blondie, very famous photo, February 77, when Blondie debuted at the Whiskey. And we see some of the many publications my work has been in, as well as in exhibits. If you're in, oh yes, also AC/DC, why not? If you're interested in knowing stories behind these photos and what the time was like then, and let's take a look at some other pictures as well, that if we can go forward. Technology is so much fun. My Blondie photo, I have recorded a story about this photo, the taking of it and what happened, as well as other pictures from that first show. This very famous Joan Jett and Lita Ford Runaways, when Cheap Trick opened for the Runaways at the Santa Monica Civic. Also hanging out before bands were bands. As I said, I knew the Go-Go's before they were Go-Go's. Same with X, and we see Joan Jett and Rand McNally, who helped start Danger House Records, and Pleasant Gaiman, who started Lobotomy fanzine and then was the first music gossip columnist for the LA Weekly. Joey Ramone and more Joey and Dee Dee and Johnny. I have the honor, that breaks my heart, of my photos being used for their obituaries. Lots of stories about the Ramones, and as anyway, more places my photos have been seen. I was on the masthead of Cream. My photos were in Rolling Stone. I shot the Sex Pistols. Joan and Johnny. Darby Crash of the Mask became very well known from my Germs photos. As I said, this was from the first official session. Lots of stories about this. That was a very interesting evening. And Stones, and that was interesting too. Hey, how can you be a rock and roller and not have photographed the Stones? And X, I've recorded the story of how I got my name, Jenny Lenz. I was named by the girl they sing about in Los Angeles. She was real. Go-Go's, and being thanked in the Clash book for my photos. including this and this. Love the Clash, lots of Clash stories. Sneaking in backstage to shoot Bob Marley and being on stage with 60,000 other people, shooting Peter Tosh when he opened for the Stones, and more Iggy. Patti Smith. Patti called me the girl with the camera eye. These were not digitally manipulated, and there's stories behind that. More Patti. This is probably the photo that, as I wrote, LA punk fans love this the most. What is the story behind that? The Screamers were legendary, fantastic parties, fantastic shows. We see Belinda in the red stockings before she was a go-go, and Alice Bagg on the left, and Helen Keller and Pleasant Gayman, and more. And this is full of famous people. There's K.K. Barrett, who later was nominated for an Oscar. He was the drummer for the Screamers. Alice Bagg, Nikki Beat, Spaz Attack, Connie Clarksfield, Sheila, Trudy, and Trixie all played major roles in punk. And Natasha, the great style, lots on fashion if you're into fashion. Hanging out with Joe Strummer, and Dee Dee and I were friends. We hung out that first tour and other times backstage with Joe and Paul. Iggy. I have Iggy stories. Boy, do I have Iggy stories. And there I am. I didn't just show it with photos. I lived this lifestyle. On the left, our left is Mary Rat. On the right is Helen Keller. And, homemade dress I made, in college. And the dress on the right that I made, that has photos of mine, and that's Robbie Poshboy Fields in the center. The photo was taken by Melanie Nissen, one of my two favorite photographers, along with Penny Smith, who's famous for her Clash photos. And Melanie gave me the negative, but I will always credit her. And then the Great Divine, and my hair always photographed red, even though it was magenta. And in England with John Doe, and I really love how Exine's jacket has a hand, and John's giving me a thumbs up, and that's Claude Kickboy Bessie. I'll talk about Slash magazine, which was incredible, and Claude was incredible, and this big question about, could this be art? I have art degrees, and how I always looked at this as a major art movement, and then more stories. But here's the deal, everyone, okay? August 12th, 1976. I'm recording this 3.5 hours before my birthday. I will be 70, and Debbie Harry just turned 75. How much longer do you think I can do this and share these stories that I keep posting and people keep saying? Put up your pictures. Tell us the stories. All you have to do is hold up your hand and count fingers and send me as many dollars as there are on your fingers on a hand every month. And I also run specials, and you will hear these stories and see photos. I have tons of pictures that have never been seen, or pictures you've only seen small that you can see larger. Nowhere else. Or you can buy photos. I sell pictures. Or you can donate. I can't keep doing this. Breaking my heart. It's put me into debt. If you really love these pictures, you will help keep this archive alive. How do you expect a 70-year-old woman who's been doing this since she was 26 to keep doing this? You think these pictures just get scanned by themselves and these stories just get recorded by themselves? You think somebody just types all of this? I need help marketing. You could put the information out there. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, Snapchat, TikTok, whatever. People put these together in videos on YouTube and don't credit me. God damn it, stop it! Stop it! Even last time I saw X, the drummer's wife, Dinky, said, Jenny, tell people to talk to the hand. Stop giving it away. So if you want these stories and you want these photos, why was I the one taking these pictures? It wasn't just luck being at the right place at the right time. Luck has nothing to do with it. It's fucking hard work. And I do it for you. I don't do it for me. I'd rather read art history books. I'd rather watch old movies. I have seen these photos till I'm sick of them. But all I need to do is look at them and say, I remember this well. I remember when it happened. I know where I was standing. I used to hang out with Joan a lot. I have other shots of she and Lita actually at an event hanging out with punks. You want to know? You want to see the pictures? Talk to the hand. And what's the story behind the TP? And what was Debbie wearing under that wedding gown? And what was she wearing over this dress? And you want to see the pictures that she and the band autographed of mine? And you want to know why I was banned from ever shooting them again? Well, freaking support this. Or you know what? Stop saying, oh, post them. I don't owe you anything. I am doing this because on August 12th, 1976, I felt that this was a cultural revolution that needed to be documented because I studied movie history. I grew up in the 60s. I knew rock and roll changed. Days changed tonight, changed in an instant. Right now, as I'm recording this, there's a comment that won't be back for another 6,000 years. I can't see it because I live where there's too many streetlights. But I always looked at punk or any art movement or rock and roll genre like a comet. It's a flash of light that streaks through the sky. It illuminates our life. It's mysterious and magical and marvelous and miraculous. And it changes. What we did influenced others. And there'll never be bands in that time again. Everything's changed. Things are more expensive. And our whole media has changed. Our whole life has changed. And somebody documented this and has spent 44 years as of this recording to get this out into the world for you. I didn't do it for me. I mentioned I'd rather watch old movies and study art. Oh, yeah. And read some good books, too. I love reading. I love making art. I love studying art. I love old movies. So it's up to you. Oh, and I also love taking new photos, too. Oh, there's a lot of things I love doing. This I do for you. So pony up a few bucks, okay? Or else this archive and I will have no roof over our heads, and these will be gone. And then people will continue to make up lies, because they do all the time. They're always mislabeling my photos and say they were taken somewhere that I didn't shoot them, or at a different time, or different people. And they lie. Even the people who were there, who maybe just don't remember, or they were drunk, or, memory is malleable. But photos don't lie. Okay, I didn't stick Joan Jett here. I know where we were. I remember this well. So we'll start with this, and we'll end with Thumbs Up. We made it to England, right? They had their first album, and X is still going strong. My favorite band. X, Ramones, Clash, Screamers. Amazing stuff. Could this be art? I think so. But it's up to you. You will tell people about this. You will subscribe and get these audio recordings and photos and videos and stories that you cannot get anywhere else. And you can buy some photos. And I also take donations, okay? And if you don't like that, and you think I'm complaining about how expensive it is, you really want me to tell you how much time and money I put into this? Hundreds of thousands of hours and dollars. And I didn't get free things, and I didn't get a +1, and I didn't get treated as well as writers. But I ain't complaining, because I have these memories. If you want to hear about them, great. If you don't, I just wish you really well. Only shut the fuck up and stop expecting stuff for free, because, hey, it doesn't work that way in the world. So you want it? I'll be very glad to tell it to you, because I love telling the stories to receptive, appreciative people. You can afford your freaking Netflix and Hulu and an LP or a beer or a pizza or even a nice meal today. You can afford this. It's just a few pennies a day. and I did it for you. What I did for love. What I did for love. I wish you all the best. My name is Jenny Lenz. You can find out more at punkpioneers.com. Stay well. Stay aware. Know your rights. I wish you well. I'll see you over there at punkpioneers.com. Bye now.